So you guys are probably wondering, oh, why are we talking about Shaq? We talked about this last month. So this was a post that I collaborated with the friends over at Basketball Coverage. We do a really good job of just covering the NBA, and he puts in this graphic he made in the last 24 hours. Shaq has not only called the Pistons boring to watch, but also congratulated Chauncey Billups for turning around the Detroit Pistons. So Shaq saw this comment on he saw this post on Instagram because Basketball Coverage had the balls to tag him. Shout out to him for that. So Shaq replies to this post on Instagram. Not about the listings. I only pay attention to champions. I'm not a regular season earthling, not you. All you got is your little Instagram page. So do what you do, blogger. Don't worry about this first ballot Hall of Famer. Get your followers up. Before we get into it, Shaq kind of like reminds me of a third grader that trying to like diss you back. Like I had a really hard time. Like I had to read it like 5 times. Obviously he doesn't care about the regular season. He only pays attention to champions. What happened to 04, bud? But
you don't want to go there. You don't want to open up that book.
I wanted to get this like your overall thoughts like with this, response with Shaquille O'Neal talking about the Detroit Pistons. He's still not giving them any sort of recognition. He's not paying attention to them. He doesn't even want to watch them.
Yeah, you couldn't have put it no better. I was literally gonna say he sounds like a high school girl or like the teen nerd on social media talking about get your followers up. You're a grown man. You flex being a Hall of Famer, and the response and clapback you have is get your followers up. Bruh, this isn't even like he tried to stage it like, oh, I only care about champions. Like, bruh, this isn't even like a ring culture argument. This is just you being lazy and embarrassing and shaming and disgracing this business. Like, I talk to my friends about this all the time. Like, I love where I'm at in my career. I love being a beat reporter. I love having a little bit of influence in a business and a sports that I love and I've loved since I was a kid. Like, this means everything to me being here. And somebody like Shaq, and even like Stephen A, like it's been a wild few weeks for sports media in general. These guys are the worst kind of representation for sports media right now. Like, it is disgusting seeing the stuff that they can be wrong about. Like, and let's be clear too, we're not always right. Like, I've had terrible takes. I called Paul Reed a 7-footer before I came on here. I was wrong about that. But I'm at least man enough to own that and say, you know what? I didn't get that one right. I was off. I was looking at something different. That's on me. Shaq literally said the team was under 500. He said Chauncey was the coach. He has just been wrong and wrong and wrong. And instead of being a man and saying, oh, wow, you know what? They're better than I thought. Or you know what? Maybe I was just off base on that one. He's embarrassingly doubling down by saying, I don't watch Piston basketball. I don't watch Detroit. I only care about champions. Bruh, you're a Hall of Famer. If you don't care about regular season, if you don't care about up-and-coming teams, if you don't care about any of that, why are you in the business in the first place? Go do commercials. We know you got 3 million endorsements in commercials. Go do that. Don't come over here and dumb down the product just because you're not doing it for no valuable reason. Knock it off. Like JB said it perfectly during his OKC crash out, in the post game. We're a young team that's bringing something beneficial to the league, and they are. The Pistons don't play like every other team. They emphasize defense. They emphasize team basketball. They're growing young players. What they're bringing to the league is 100% great for the NBA. And you would think a Hall of Famer from the old school era would be able to appreciate that. And you too lazy to turn the TV on, get your facts right, or at the very least have a 3x5 card that says JB Biggerstaff is the coach. That's too much for you to do, Shaq. That's too much to ask for a Hall of Famer and a 4-time champion, Mr. Barbecue Chicken. Embarrassing, bro. It's absolutely embarrassing. Like I said, I know I'm just little old me, doing my job in this position, but I take so much pride in this. And I just wish people like him, like Stephen A., these guys in these national positions, cared enough to bring some kind of integrity to this business, because that shouldn't be too much to ask for.
Yeah, I mean, you don't like. I watch a lot of NFL. No shot you would have people from the NFL on a podcast if they had a podcast, kind of just dog a team.
Never.
Like even though like I'll use this team as an example, like you could dog the Cleveland Browns for the Deshaun Watson stuff and them kind of just being a dumpster fire, being the laughing stock of the NFL for several years. Obviously, I think the only person that really did that was Colin Cowherd, but it doesn't really count. But like Shaq's comments, the fact that one, he saw our post and he saw not only like Pistons fans, but casual NBA fans saying this is why ratings are down. Shaq and Charles don't even pay attention to the games. I've actually, said on TV, but we don't watch the games. We're not even paying attention. Like you have Chuck watching golf or watching hockey or something like that. Like they're not watching the games. These guys get paid tens of millions of dollars to be quote unquote analysts. The only analyst in that studio is Kenny Smith. At least Kenny Smith tries to break down the game. He tries to find positive narratives. Like I think inside the NBA, it's a very entertaining show if you're a casual basketball fan and you want to just listen to, two old men bickering about I have 4 rings, you don't type of shit. Like I used to love it growing up as a kid. I thought they were funny. I thought it was entertaining. But the older I get, and it's not just a Pistons thing. Like someone left it in the chat, like OKC is playing good basketball. Boston is creeping up on the Cavs for the 1 seed. The Bulls, as of late, have just been going crazy. There are so many positive teams in the NBA right now, like the Houston Rockets being the number 2 seed. Just being on a tear right now. Like this isn't so much me coming up here as a Piston fan being upset.
Right.
It's just as a basketball fan that enjoys the NBA and enjoys the product, it gets watered down when you have guys on national television and you have a podcast saying, I don't know who the coach is. They're not even over 500. And mind you, like those comments last month or when they were on that 5-6 game winning streak. And like his host had to look it up. He's like, yeah, they're 5 games over 500. He's like, who cares? They're not winning a championship.
Right.
Like that was his like a rebuttal. It's just like if that's the way you're gonna be, then just kind of have like that, Mark Jackson type of role where you only come and show up for the NBA finals. Like if you still want to do basketball, it's cool, but just show up during the NBA finals. Give your seat to someone else that wants it, that lives, breathes basketball, and can, bring more of a positive light to the league. Like they're gonna be on ESPN next year. Think ESPN's gonna put up with that shit?
It's not gonna happen.